In this video I'll be showing you how to implement the new post effects stack in Unity and how I set it up for my game Concept 2 earlier this trimester. To install the post effects stack, go to the Asset Store window. If you don't have it open already, just go Window, Asset Store, and go to the search bar here and type in post effects stack. And it should be one of the first ones. There it is, by Unity Technologies. Just click import here and import the whole thing. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to sign in. But when you import, you get this folder here, post-processing. I have deleted some textures in the lens dirt folder because they're pretty big, and I've got this in a repo that I want to pull really quickly. So if you're not using lens effects, I recommend doing that or not importing them in the first place. And if you right click here, go create, post-processing file, call it whatever you want. This is where you set up all of your stuffs. To actually get that doing something, you need to go to your main camera, add a component, post-processing behavior. This script comes with the package, just the same as the scriptable class post-processing profile. So when you've added that to your camera, you just need to drag the profile into the profile reference here. So we replaced my original now with the new one. So if we go back to the Ganzfeld one, let's have a look at how that one works. So let's play the game for a bit to get some special effects going on. That's quite an angle. So you can see the glow here. I've obviously got some bloom on. Let's start from the top actually. I've got anti-aliasing on because if you look at the nukes, they've got quite a sharp edge and they're high contrast, and so I don't want them looking too jagged. So I've just gone for performance with FA, anti-aliasing, and the extreme performance preset. I don't have it because I don't have any ambient occlusion. I mean, I don't have any level geometry, but ambient occlusion would just approximate the way you lose light in complex areas with a lot of geometry. Screen space reflection lets you, I believe, work off the reflectivity or the shade information of different objects to reflect what you see in the scene in front of you. It can look pretty funny sometimes. I haven't played around with it too much. Depth of field blurs out anything that's not in focus, so if the first person controller camera looks at an object nearby, anything in the background that's in the view will be blurred out. And I've used motion blur because the nukes move pretty fast and they're high contrast. They would look kind of stuttery if it wasn't for a nice bit of blur. I don't have too much. I've pushed the intensity of bloom up a little bit. You can play with it and see the effects in pause mode, which is pretty cool. So maybe that's as bright as I want to get it, so I could probably push it as far as 3 without losing too much information in the rest of the scene. And this is where you'd put your dirt textures so that you emulate light interfering with like the grime and dust on the camera lens. Let's close that. User LUT and color grading lets you look up colors and replace them with a table that you've imported. Chromatic Aberration, I believe, simulates the error produced by perhaps the properties of glass or the curvature of the lens it pushes the different colors of the spectrum apart. So you probably can't see it in this video, but there's a purple-blue outline around these objects, which I thought was pretty cool. It reminded me of those 3D glasses we had way back, red and cyan. And that was a little confusing. I really liked that. Grain I've used to try and jumpstart the Gensfeld effect, which is the way your brain creates a bunch of noise where there is none when you're looking at a featureless wall, such as in Terrell's installations. If I turn that off, maybe you can see it becomes very smooth in the preview window there. And Vignette I'm using to distort perception again. I'm not sure with Vignette on, I'm not sure if I'm looking at like a hallway or if these bright blooming explosions are lighting up a wall. I'm not really sure if I'm looking at a flat plane or if I'm looking at something that goes on forever. I think it's really cool. So that was a must. But yeah, in the next video I'll show you how I did all of the technical stuff in regards to the visuals in this game. Thanks for watching.